Alright, so here's the new baby. This is the first build I'm going to try to do completely on YouTube. This is a 1969 M715 that I picked up last fall. I've been wanting to build one for about 8 years. She's a beaut. She's in a rough shape, but she also comes with a lot of history. M715s are really cool. I've wanted to build one for about 8 years just because I think they're the biggest, baddest Jeep ever made. They were made by Kaisers, who owned the Jeep brand back when these were made. This one's a 69. They made them 67 to 69. It's a 5/4 ton truck, so 1 1/4. Some gamers might recognize it. This isn't why I liked it. I liked them before, but GTA 5, Trevor's shitty red truck. This is what it was based off of. You'd probably see the resemblance. They made about 33,000 M715s. They also had an ambulance body and a service body you can get them with, but those are a little rare. And I like the truck better. It's more useful. They would have come with the 230 Tornado, but this one, at some point, somebody put a small block Chevy in it. But that's gonna go. They're really cool. It's missing a door right here, but they would have had this would have been for canvas top storage, so the back would have had a canvas top that you'd store in there. This side would have had a jerry can right here. This would have been a pickaxe, and another tool would have been over here. Oh, a hatchet, an axe, and a pickaxe over here, and there's a spot for a shovel on the other side on these tie downs. If you can't tell from the door, this one, just like most of them, spent life with the fire department. It looks like it used to say WWG Fire. I couldn't find what fire department that would have been, but it was a brush truck. Most of these, when they were decommissioned, they were loaned off to fire departments. This right here says loaned by Kentucky Division of Forestry. So my guess is it was loaned to Kentucky Division of Forestry and then went to a fire department. And so it was loaned by Kentucky Division of Forestry to the fire department. It had, the previous owner took it out, but it was sitting there and I saw it. It had a big tank back here for a forest buggy, so it had a tank. Has this bar back here for the seat, so you can drive along the fire line, I'm guessing. I'll put some pictures look like, but this one would have had a tank. You can see all the holes they just cut everywhere on all the extra supports in order to mount all this apparatus back here. Just random pipe mounts everywhere, random patches like that where they just welded stuff to the cab and the stuff. It had a tank. You got the roller for the hose. Getting all the debris out of the inside, getting a good look at what the floors actually look like. I do have a tailgate, which I haven't showed you yet. The mounts are actually off of the back bumper. I do have a tailgate for it, but it does not have the risers for the top, so I might need to make some of those. And I'm sure you may have noticed it's also missing the windshield entirely, but that shouldn't be too hard to replace. Just a flat piece of glass. Any automotive glass company should be able to make a custom one pretty easily. My understanding is the weather stripping is like a GM weather stripping, so they should even have that on stock. But it's really, overall, this thing's pretty beat up. It's got all the holes and stuff I need to patch, like from them putting the tank and stuff in. All the bracketry I need to cut off. The body's pretty rough. The fenders are all screwed up, especially the fronts. I'd like to straighten those at least a little bit, but this is the low budget build. We're not going to be making this a show truck or anything. It's going to be just a real cool Cummins-powered Jeep. It's pretty solid though. Like there's some spots where it rusted and or hit a tree and broke the metal. I'll have to straighten out a little bit. But like the floors I need to clean up. We'll probably do that this video. But the floors, I haven't seen any patches, and they're still solid down there. The rockers, you got some pinholes. You got a big hole there, and then some pinholes. But there's enough shape there where I can just throw some sheet metal down there. The frame is pristine. It's almost a shame I'm not going to be using that. The interior, it's a bit rough. It's been sitting outside for 20 years from my understanding. It was sitting under a tree in Kentucky for the last 20 years. I don't remember why they said they parked it, but apparently they were using it around. I got it at a salvage lot, like a wrecker yard, like a towing company. And apparently they were using it around the property until it stopped running or something. I don't know why they parked it, but it's been parked under a tree in Kentucky for the last 20 years or so. The doors and windows still all work. Missing a winch. Here's the other side. Brush fire buggy. One of these two numbers, I think it's like 701 or 704 maybe. It's really hard to tell. It looks like it used to be a 4 maybe. One of these is going to be the fire department number, and one of these could actually still be the military identification. I'm not really sure. But brush fire buggy. Rockers over here, same story. Pinholes. Got these big old holes they cut into it. Roller. Here's that shovel mount I was talking about. I'll put some pictures of some military ones and some fire ones in the video, I'm sure. So these trucks, they're made to carry 5/4 tons or 1 1/4 tons over extreme terrain. So they are geared stupid low, like high 588s, like 588s. Like they max out at 45 mile an hour with the stock motor, and even with a bigger or better motor like 350 that somebody put in it, it's all about gearing. Like they still are just not fast. And then if you do change out just axles, my understanding is the transfer case just eats itself alive at higher RPMs and higher speeds. So if you're going to do a swap, you got to do the motor, transfer case, transmission, axles, and all that. And at that point, you're still on the old leaf springs. And sure, you can throw together a 4-link kit or something like that, or a 5-link or the front and make it ride a little bit better. But my thought was, why not just replace everything? So what we have going on for this build, we have a 99 Ram 2500 24 valve Cummins that is a regular, or it's a quad cab long bed that we're going to put this body on top of. So we're going to put body on top, and we're going to put it on 37s is the plan. I have a bunch of ideas for the interior and for the lighting, and try to make this as simple as possible. But the biggest thing is going to be getting that honking motor in here, because this is a full-size truck, but older full-size trucks aren't quite as big as newer full-size trucks. And so the thought about all that is instead of doing all the work to this frame, which is pristine, why not just shorten the Dodge frame and have modern suspension, modern brakes, modern axles, the motor I want, the transmission I want, the transfer case, and just put the body on top of something modern instead of putting modern stuff into the body. That's my thought. It's on the Dodge, and we already have some rims that came off of this truck, because when it has the Dodge axles under it, it's going to be 8 by 6.5, and I blew out a rim on this truck on an overlanding trip a couple years back. We're going to see if we can get that rim repaired, and we can just throw parts I already own on this, and I'll show you those rims, see if we can get them repaired. With 37-inch tires and a Cummins, this thing is going to be pretty awesome. We already have some rough plans for this. We're going to try to make as much as humanly possible from the donor truck work with this truck. I'm already a little worried about some of the measurements. The width of The radiator and intercooler are a bit wide for this truck. I might have to do something there, but we're gonna try to make as much stuff fit into this. Try to use 90% of the wiring from the 24 valve, so I can just plug in the code reader and everything acts as if it's still a 99 Dodge truck. All the parts will be 99 Dodge truck. As little custom wiring as possible in order to just make this thing live forever and ever. You just go to the store, get 99 Dodge truck parts. Everything, the suspension, 99 Dodge truck. Nothing custom, just Dodge truck parts. As you can tell, the interior is a little bit rough from sitting under a tree for all those years. There's still a little bit of seat. My other side actually still has the cushion and everything, which I guess the cushion's right here. But I already got some plans for the interior. We're gonna see if we can't take down the Dodge instrument panel down to bare bones and maybe even expand that opening a little bit. And we're gonna see if we can just jerry rig the whole dash, like gauge pod and everything, into this truck, so it's just more or less plug and play. The seats, we're going to try to use the bench seat out of the Dodge, but from initial measuring, it's going to be too wide with the center console. So I actually bought it's a fuse, an artillery fuse ammo can, and we're going to make that the center seat, I'm thinking, or at least cut it apart to make it work, so that an ammo can is in here and kind of match the theme, and we'll make that the center seat because I want this to be able to carry me, my wife, and maybe a kid. Alright, so this is the donor, the very shitty mini owner 99 24 valve, very torn up body. Not too much left of the body, but the frame is all perfect. It's 300, just rolled over 340,000 miles. We'll probably build the motor one day, but for now it's not very important. Right now all we need is one that runs halfway decent. Leather interior, will refurbish these front seats and put them in the Kaiser as part of the build, and the back seat will end up being for the shop probably. $340,000 miles. It runs good. It shifts a little high. We'll dig into that when it's in the Kaiser, but for now we're gonna start tearing it apart. Just a shitty old 99 24 valve, perfect for cutting apart.